Hey, everybody. Really excited about this episode where Lauren and I talk to Mariano Gonzalez, who's known as the star of Once, his role as Gabo. Tune in. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Gross Anatomy Podcast, where we explore the sights, smells, and sounds of medicine, how it relates to movies, TV, books, pop culture, podcasts, and the world around us. And I am Dr. Jason Cohen.
And I'm Lauren Taylor.
And today we are joined by Lionel Messi. No. Today we're joined by Tom Cruise, or Tom Cruise's son. No. Today we are joined by one of my favorite people on this planet, Mariano Gonzalez. Did I say it right?
Well, yes, you did.
Mariano Gonzalez. And Mariano Gonzalez is just so many. You're like multi hyphenate. You're a multi hyphenate. And I'm so excited that you're here with us.
What an honor. Part of the team.
Part of the team.
Always part of the team.
Always part of the team. And you're a team. That's your life. You're a team guy.
I'm a team guy. I love teaming.
Yes. Not only you've been everything. You've been my daughter's roommate. I mean, you've been just the whole story. I want to let Lauren talk a little bit because I'm just going to ramble.
I'm trying to check as many categories as I can for you.
Exactly. So you're going to have to move in with us too at some point then, I think. Exactly.
Well, see, I don't know all these little personal details, but I know he's an accomplished actor and soccer player. And I did want to ask you if you call it soccer or you call it football now, because you're from Argentina.
Depends who I'm with. I try to be as flexible as I can because it's always been football for me. But I know if I say that here much, really quickly you're talking NFL. So you gotta watch out who you're talking with. But I prefer football.
Football.
Of course, yeah.
And there you go. Love that. And just, Mariano, we're going to get into all your stuff, but Mariano's been part of the team. He's been part of the Gross Anatomy team, which has been a really joyous, learning, fun, pleasurable experience for me having you as part of the Gross Anatomy team. So I love that you're back. I love that we had you as part of the Gross Anatomy team.
Thank you. And I'm glad I'm meeting Lauren in person because I think I've heard Lauren's voice quite a bit, but I hadn't been able to put a face to the name. So I think this is the first time that we're actually doing that. So it's pretty exciting.
It is. I know. When I lived in LA, we never met in person.
It all happened in the COVID. I think that's where the team really consolidated in COVID.
Exactly. So Lauren, you want to start harassing him a little bit, or should I just keep rambling? Because I could easily ramble.
Well, no, I mean, so you met Liat in LA, obviously, but before that,
my daughter Liat. For everybody who doesn't know, my eldest daughter Liat. Mm-hmm.
But before that, you were born in Argentina and you moved when you were 12. So can you kind of tell our audience about that? Why did you move and what?
Yeah, I was born in Argentina as your jersey. That's the Argentina jersey, Doc.
You're wearing the Argentina jersey for him. I love that.
Thanks
for the audience. I don't want to let that slip by.
Nice. Stand up so we get a cut down of the Argentina jersey.
It's my brother gave it to me.
Stand up so we can see it. Come on.
There
you go. Who's number 10?
A Messi jersey.
Nice. Not for December 10th, my birthday? Okay.
And that. I think that's why Messi got that number.
There you go. Exactly. He's like, Jason Cohen's birthday? I want that number.
Yeah, I want number 10.
Exactly.
So I was born in Argentina, and I think Argentina at that time was actually going through some of the worst economic. Some people know about it, like 01, 02. We had just horrible economic recession, and I think my parents were a little fed up with it. And they both kind of had an opportunity to get a job here in California. So they kind of pitched it to us like, hey, we're going to go 2-3 years,
How old were you?
I was 11, actually. I was 11 years old.
Okay.
And they were like, we're going to, try it out. You guys can learn how to speak English and, we'll let Argentina kind of get back to its feet and then we'll come back. And we never came back. I ended up coming back, ironically, years later for work for my first job. But aside from that, we've been based in LA ever since, and I think we just went for vacation, and we kind of figured out that Argentina wasn't going anywhere, and we were all kind of excited about the paths we were taking in the U.S. So I think your classical immigrant story, looking for better horizons and things kind of working out in some way.
And speaking of immigrant story, didn't you or your brother just become a citizen or something? Or was that a while ago?
No,
Oh, no,
I think that was a while ago. Yeah,
that was a while ago. Oh, so
but down to celebrate it again because I think it's such an
let's celebrate it again. Yeah, no, the story I thought is that so Mariano's brother Nacho turned out to be my now son-in-law's best friend, one of his best friends or best friend in high school, right? They were high school best friends.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's how we met you through Nacho and Lucas, my son-in-law, hanging out at the Shabbat dinner table.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Actually, I still remember the first time I met you. It was
I
COVID.
remember that. I remember
right?
that day too. Yeah.
It was
You were
COVID.
cooking. You were
Really?
cooking with your scrubs. I walk in. I think you guys were in Beverly Hills then.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think Liad invited me to Shabbat. So and and Nacho, my brother, is obsessed with Jason. Like my whole family loves Jason, but Nacho is just obsessed. And he was like, "This is one of the best men you're ever gonna meet. This is just," and I could not have higher expectations. I'm like, "Am I gonna meet my guru?" And I did. I just didn't know it at the time.
Wow, thank you. Well, fun fact about Nacho was, I run the pre-med program I created and run this and Nacho was one of our early pre-med students after he finished high school because he was thinking of becoming a doctor.
Yeah.
And then I remember he was in medical school in Argentina. He moved to Argentina to go to medical school, and he texted me a bunch of times like saying, what's the journey, what's the path? And I don't think we actually ever had a heart-to-heart other than a few texts. And then the next thing I know, he quit.
Yeah. You're just like, get out.
Exactly. And that was Nacho.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, Argentina. And I think med school in Argentina, I remember Nacho it was the hardest thing I've ever seen. Like he didn't have a life at all. And I think that's I think medicine and other professions, you just need to know. Yeah. Right. Kind of.
And that's what I'm proud that he realized he didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of the things that I hope to be able to guide people through with the program is not to go to med school.
All right. So you moved to Argentina when you were 11, and then what was the adjustment like? You really didn't speak the language? Like, how'd you make friends? You went to Beverly Hills High School?
It was horrible. I think horrible. I don't mean it in a traumatizing way. I mean it in a challenging way. I think I didn't speak English very well. I'm still learning, as you can see. And then Beverly Hills High School could not be further away from what I've grown up, both metaphorically and literally. So I think it was a bit of an adjustment, just the culture and the language, but I think it was a double-edged sword that, like, at the time it was really, really hard for me. And now looking back, feeling more of this, international, feeling more of being an international person, I actually think it benefited me in many ways, and it opened up my mind to a lot of things. But back at the time, I wanted to have nothing to do with it. I just wanted to stay in Argentina, stay with my friends and family, and but yeah, it ended up being great.
And now you're an international man of mystery.
Which is what we all try to be.
Was soccer or football, did that help you though? Like, did you make friends?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I think that was my anchor. I think soccer, it really is such a bicultural thing, where like anywhere you go, if there's a soccer ball, you instantly kind of connect to the people that surround you. And indeed, soccer was that for me. And then it very quickly became not a job, but my goal was set to play D1 soccer. So I was just, that was my thing. I was just thinking about that and thinking about soccer and school and soccer, and that was it. So it kind of like made things a little cleaner and easier for my path.
Yeah.
And then you went to Penn and played D1 soccer there, eh?
Yeah, I was really lucky. I was really lucky because it ended up working out, and I wanted it, but I actually didn't realize how hard it was. I think I realized after, being there, what I actually was lucky to have. And but yeah, I kind of busted my butt, through high school, and some schools were kind of reaching out, and Penn was one of my top choices, and I was so happy when I found out that they wanted to have me. So that's kind of where it all started for me too.
What other schools were you looking at?
I was trying to go to the Ivies just because academically I was doing really, really well.
Mm-hmm.
So they also like a certain type of profile, that if you're international and if you do well in school, and they you kind of get it on their radar a little bit. So I was kind of talking to Brown, Princeton, and Penn. Um,
No California school?
no Stanford.
Stanford?
Stanford. Stanford was probably my dream one,
Mm-hmm.
and they reached out, and then they said their class was kind of all set up.
And
So
that's that. And what was your major in college?
I double majored in political science and film.
And so what was the thought while you were in college? Did you think, hey, I want to still try to be a pro football player, or did you, or what was your thought going to college when you first got to college?
I think it was my senior year of high school. My uncle Rafa was at UCLA doing a directing program, and in the directing program they had a thesis, and at the end of the thesis they had to produce a story as a class. And I think the story that kind of got selected by some of their group of the students was this immigrant story of this kid who was based on a true story. This guy was born elsewhere, but they brought him being like months old or a year old. And then eventually she kind of got deported, not knowing that she wasn't born in America. She kind of found out through the deportation process. So they kind of made a story out of college where the student in the story was applying to schools, getting a soccer scholarship, and when they got the soccer scholarships, everybody kind of finds out they're illegal and they got deported. Anyway, my uncle's like, my nephew is that age. He is getting a scholarship. He was brought here being 11. He should like test for the role, just because there's so many commonalities with the character. So I had never acted before, and I was like, yeah, I'll go do a screen test. I'm just a soccer player or whatever. Like, I'll go have fun. And I loved it. The camera turned on, and I was like, I could, like, if this is a job, this is a job I want to have. I could do this endlessly. And I already loved movies and loved TV shows, but like I hadn't seen it from that angle. So then I go to college, but I kind of got bit by the acting bug.
You were in high school when that opportunity came? Did he write it with you in mind?
No, I think he just kind of wrote it because a few people were involved, so I think they kind of wrote it, and they're just like, let's find the right guy for it. And
Did you get
one
the
of those
part?
lucky things, yeah.
You got the part?
I got the part. I shot the movie. It was a short film, and it ended up making rounds in festivals around the world. It kind of did well. I was like, trying to do my best, but it turned out they were like, you look pretty natural in front of the camera. So I go to college with this idea of just playing soccer and maybe turning pro, but I was like, this film thing is gonna play for me at some point. I just knew it. I'm like, eventually I'm gonna come back to acting and to filming. It just happened a lot faster than I thought it would, you know.
And that's why you were film minor or major or whatever?
Yeah, yeah. I kind of
Right.
did political science because I felt like going to Penn and studying film was kind of like, there's so many smart people that had so much to offer, and I'm like, I got to take at least one econ class here,
Right.
and squeeze some of the intellectual juice out of the school. But I think that was the thought process. I was like, let me get a little bit out of the Penn academic thing from the poli-sci major, but I really just wanted to do film. Meanwhile, I'm just training and playing soccer as much as I have and need to.
And did you ever have a chance to try out for any soccer clubs?
Um, I didn't look for it. I wasn't, a star in the Division 1 enough that like MLS teams were fighting for me.
Right.
So I think for me, I would have been one of those players that would just need to like get an agent and like just try out for like some of the preseasons, and like I would have needed to fight the fight a little more. And I just knew so well into my late junior year that I wanted to go into acting, that I was like, I'm just going to play all 4 years. And as soon as soccer's done, thank you very much. And I'm going to shift to soccer.
Did you take theater classes too in college, or just film?
Yeah. I took as many theater classes as I could.
Got it. Did you do singing too?
No singing. I suck at singing.
Did you audition for plays or anything?
I didn't have time to do any plays, but I did try to get, in every acting class I could, both in the theater arts department at Penn and in Philly. I actually did like a residency with a professional acting company that kind of took some students for a few months, and then I just went to the Philadelphia theater in Center City, and I took some acting classes there. So I was like, oh, wow, I'm like really loving this. I think this is where I should go.
So how did Once happen for you? How did that happen?
It actually, yeah, and I think that Nacho, since we brought up Nacho has a cool role in this story, because at the time I was on an F1 visa, which means you're on a student visa, which basically after you graduate, you could get a job for a year, but then the work needs to sponsor you so you could kind of stay. And that was my legal situation. So so after I graduate, I'm like, I want to act, but everybody's like, we're not trying to get you away from acting, but I don't think it's the right timing, because if you want to stay here kind of long term, you should get a job to sponsor you. And I ended up getting a job offer from Univision. They, I just finance or marketing. They were like looking for people, and I'm like, I'm gonna try out the classical, thing. And then I got the job offer, and I was like, I just know so well that I just want to act. I think, but I don't know what to do. I was at a crossroads, and Nacho and I just went to play tennis, and he basically said, I think you shouldn't take the job. Just because you already know what you want. And he's like, and I always think the coolest people in the world just kind of take what the heart tells them and not what they should do. And he's like, and there's nothing cooler than having that option. And I was like, okay.
It's all about being cool.
It's all about being cool.
Being cool for your little brother. You got to be cool for the little brother.
You got to be cool for the little brother.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think, his main point was like, if you love it and your heart says something, then you should really, listen to it. And after that day, I didn't take the job offer. And within a month of that conversation, I had an audition, my first audition ever for a soccer TV show, which that was also just a story of its own. But
how did that come your way?
That came my way because the short that I had done, remember the short that I had done about the young soccer player? I made a reel to promote myself to managers and agents, and I used scenes from that short. So I had scenes acting and I had scenes playing soccer. So I kind of made this like reel showing like my athletic ability and then my acting skills that I did not have at the time. And I uploaded it on Facebook, and friends and family just kind of shared it like, hey, you got to see Mariano. He's like, you know, new actor on the block. And a friend of my mom from high school was a producer. I think she still is. This was 2015. She was a producer at Disney Latin America. And she sees it, and she texts my mom and she goes, hey, Florencia, I know we haven't spoken in like 20 years, but I'm a producer and we're developing a soccer TV series. And I see that your son plays soccer and is an actor. And she's like, yeah. So she's like, okay, let me see if we can get him an audition. They thought I lived in Argentina. So then when they found out I was living in LA, they said, oh, never mind. And then it was kind of up to me to fly to audition. And I was like, again, since I'm going, with the heart thing, I'm just going to go all in, because it couldn't get better than my first job being about a soccer player. I'm like, I can't really act yet. I think eventually I'll be okay. But if there's anything I know how to do, is to be a soccer player. You don't need to act that. Like, I just know it. It's the only thing I know how to do.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is for me. I know this is for me. So I flew to Mexico for my first audition. Then I flew to Argentina for my second audition, because I had a callback. And then I flew back to LA, and I waited, and eventually I got a call saying that I got the role.
That's amazing. As the lead in the show.
As the lead in the show. Yeah.
And what's your name? What's the
Gabo.
Gabo? And what I found amazing was you're like, people know you as Gabo, right? People call you Gabo.
Yeah, people call me Gabo. Yeah, they know. It's the main show. I think it's targeted for like 12 to 16-year-olds. So they're not doing much research as to what my real name is. They're just and actually with actors, you'd be surprised how many times you're just like, oh, that's
It's true. I mean, I'd be the same thing. So, I mean, when
that's
you
Jon
first
Snow, dude. That's
Right.
Jon Snow.
That's right.
You're not
That's
you're
right.
not going to.
And how many years was that show for you?
That show was 4 years, which also ended up being just like the wildest way into the industry, because I kind of, for my first audition, it ended up being 220 episodes. So that was insane. It was like a massive
220 episodes?
Yeah.
That's
4 seasons?
Yeah.
Holy
three
cow.
seasons. They split them in 2. It ended up being like really 6 seasons, but they called it 3 because each season was a year. And but it was 220 episodes. And then surprisingly, recently I found out that they want to do like kind of a revival spin-off series, because it's being watched a lot. I don't know, to the platform's kind of random behavior. It's just kids are consuming it more than ever. So
is it streaming? It's a Disney show,
Plus.
right?
Yeah, it's a Disney.
It's on Disney Plus. Like,
it's on Disney Plus.
Watch it. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're dubbed, right? Because it's in Spanish.
Yeah, dubbed. Yeah, I'm dubbed. I actually met the guys that dubbed me.
Really?
Yeah.
That sounds like a cool job. I never thought about it until you said it.
Yeah, he's like, too bad you we were dubbing you as you're kind of finishing, because otherwise we could have you to dub.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But and I got to meet you after you finished the show. You were living in Argentina, and then you came back after the show back to LA.
Yes. Exactly.
And that's when you moved in with, so you became my daughters and your brothers and my daughter's now husband's, and Aviv. Shout out to Aviv too.
Shout out to Aviv.
The five of you basically were in your own little TV series, living together in a house.
That does sound like a TV series. That's exactly what I was going to say.
Totally.
Yeah, it was.
And I needed a social media person, and you were auditioning and doing stuff. And, and I got
perfect job.
And I got very lucky to have you hang with me.
I was lucky as well. I think it was the perfect setup for both of us.
Yeah. How many years? Was it a year and a half? How long did we have
with you?
Together? Yeah.
I think it was 3
2
years.
3 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Maybe slightly less than 3, but around that.
It was great.
Around that.
Great. I miss it.
Yeah.
Are you coming back?
I know. It was nice to drop by the other day. I kind of just popped in just to say hi.
Yeah. So Mariano was Gross Anatomy's social media guy. And
to have a story for us, like what is
well, I have a story first. My story is when Mariano first started doing it with me. I remember he said to me, he goes, you're gonna have to be on, right? What did you say? You're gonna have to kind of perform. You think you could do that or something, right? Did you said that to me or something?
Yeah, and he's like, just turn the phone on.
But you did. You're like, no, you're gonna have to do this thing.
Yeah, we're just pitching ideas back and forth, and I'm like, that's like, that's some serious interaction with your audience. And he's like, yeah, you're gonna have to bring it. He's like, yeah, I can bring it.
I love when you said that to me.
Yeah. It ended up being great. Yeah, it was great, and I actually got to see a lot of things, but from a social media standpoint, like a lot of your growth. And I think at some point, people were just stopping you, talking about, speaking of being called names and getting stopped on the street. People were just, are you the Gross Anatomy guy? People would just randomly stop you on Cedar's campus. Yeah. I think it got around. It really got around. Not many doctors were doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. We've definitely had a lot of good fun doing it.
Yeah.
And then, what do you got, Lauren? What do you got?
I was going to say, you also filmed some surgeries. Do you have any, what was, most interesting thing you saw, Dr. Cohen?
Yeah. I saw surgeries. I think seeing a surgery was insane.
What surgery? You came with me to surgery?
I came with you to surgery.
Which one?
I'm convinced, I think we're going to talk about the pit, but I'm convinced one day I'm going to be involved in a medical show.
Yeah.
And I know I'm going to play a doctor. I just know it.
Yeah.
And this whole thing is going to, I think it's going to be great because I got to see, obviously, Dr. Jason Cohen, in my opinion, is the best doctor there is, not because of his talent, but because of who he is also, in addition to his knowledge and talent. And the patients say it constantly. But I think I since he loves movies and TV so much, I think half the time we're talking movies, which I think was such an amazing coincidence for the both of us. Because we're just talking movies all the time and movie scenes and characters. So
I gave you a lot of homework. You probably didn't even finish all the homework I gave you for movies to watch.
I definitely didn't finish all the homework you gave me because I don't think anybody could finish all the homework you gave me.
Yeah. Wait, the other thing I'm surprised you didn't say is you came to my colonoscopy.
I didn't want to get too personal.
He came and filmed my colonoscopy.
I filmed.
That's a good answer. Yeah.
I filmed the colonoscopy. Mainly
you were there in the room, right? Were you in the room?
I saw you pass out. I think I was the last person you're looking at. I had never seen a person doze off like that. Like I hadn't seen anesthesia like in action like that.
Yeah.
And he's like,
boom. Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, I'm like, this thing is insane.
Yeah. And you saw my colon.
And I saw your colon, which luckily looked great.
Thank you. Thanks, Mark.
From
Thanks
a partner of his. Yeah. I have to, this is so funny. I think of you all the time because sometimes I'll bump into people with thyroid issues complaining about thyroid stuff, and I'm like, kind of overhearing, sorry, I don't want to get involved, but you know, are your fingers a little numb? No, but I actually know so much now about like calcium and the parathyroid and thyroid health in general, that it's so funny how much knowledge I just got kind of from secondhand being in the room.
Yeah, it was great. And then there was a time when you, I used to take crazy pleasure in having students pass out and stuff from things. And there was a time that you didn't pass out, but you had to leave the room, I think, right?
I had to leave the room.
Yeah,
Luckily, I never passed out, but I did have to step out of a room.
Yeah.
I won't say why. I'll say why. It was the smell. This person,
sight, smells, and sounds of medicine.
The things being pulled out of this person, and in combination with the smell, I had to step out. But we had some instances where people were passing out because of the student thing. So we kind of both just started getting good at looking at each other to see if the person's kind of close to pass out, to kind of watch it. Because, yeah, it's part of it. I think it's good for the students to see that, because if you're passing out too much, it might not be for you.
No, it's okay.
It's okay?
Yeah, it's okay.
It's easier?
Yeah, it really does.
I guess so. And that is a storyline on The Pit, which I guess we're going to get into, that Dr. Cohen kind of like helped you in your audition for The Pit.
Yeah.
I didn't help him enough.
Okay.
Yeah, no. Yeah, he definitely helped me. That was one of the auditions where I really made use of everything I knew. And I think The Pit is performing amazing, actually. My manager, she had another client that taped for it, Taylor, and Taylor's one of the main guys in the cast. So
who does he play?
I don't know. I didn't really watch much of The Pit. But it also goes to show how close you are, because I think for The Pit I taped twice. And then Taylor got it. So you're so close. You're always close, and gotta keep doing it.
There's a lot of medical series that are, I'm sure, going to be upcoming. I feel like you are going to be a doctor on a show. I can see it too.
Yeah, a show or a movie, or I don't know, but I feel like there's a great doctor role ahead of my lifetime, in which Jason will be there with me.
Yes,
nice.
He can be a medical consultant. It would be perfect.
Yeah, it's gonna happen.
But you have been starring in things. I read that you started as a race car driver recently.
Yeah. In 2022, I booked my first kind of big commercial Hollywood film, which was Gran Turismo. It's a racing movie based on a true story and a PlayStation game. And I had a small role, but I got to play off Orlando Bloom and David Harbour from Stranger Things. So just being on set with those absolute legends was so great, and it was kind of a very important experience for me, because it was a heavy set. Like you felt the millions and millions and millions of dollars on the line, and these guys are absolute just masters of the craft, so they're showing up fully ready to go, and I was like, okay, this is what it takes, these are the big leagues. But at the same time, I found myself being there and feeling comfortable and good and ready for more. So I was like, I can do this, I think, because I'm feeling good.
Yeah. And you had a big throw-up scene.
I had a huge throw-up scene.
That was a big scene.
Yeah. It was funny because he was with David Harbour. So he would, we actually laughed about it and we talked about it a little bit after. But that was kind of my big moment, puking.
Yeah.
Did you really get to learn how to drive a race car, or was that not part of it?
We really had to get in the sim cars a lot, which is what the pro drivers, they're in the simulators, just driving around. We did that a lot, and then some more than others got to feel the car racing experience. I had a little bit of it, which was kind of wild, but not too crazy. Nothing too crazy.
Okay.
I actually thought the movie was way better. I saw it. The only reason I watched it was because of you. Had you not been in it, I would not have watched the movie. And I want you to know, I thought it was better than I anticipated. But it would have even been better if they had cast you as the lead guy. I think it would have been like, a mega blockbuster. I think the only reason it wasn't a mega blockbuster is because you weren't the lead.
Thank you, Doc. Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's based on a true story, and the actual person that the story happened to is British. So I think the main guy had to be a Brit.
You can play Brit. You don't think you could play British?
No, on might. I can definitely play.
There you
But
go.
no, yeah, it was great. It was a great experience. Great experience.
me ask
Great
you-
movie. I thought it was a good movie too.
It was a good movie. Yeah,
Underrated commercially.
I agree. But speaking of gross anatomy, what do they have you actual throw up? Like what is it that's coming? And is it out of your mouth, or it's like a side thing that blows?
No,
that
it's out
they
of
have a fake.
out of my mouth. They asked me about allergies and tastes and food preferences, and I said anything fruity sounds good to me. So they made some variation of a green juice that actually tasted amazing. So I was like, why am I puking this out? I just want to swallow it.
How many takes did it require?
We did a few takes. We did a few takes of the puke, then we did a few takes of the reaction, then we did some takes testing out some little dialogue. So
Right.
it ended up being like a 25-minute thing, and it's that goes to show, it's like just a puking scene, and it took 25 minutes
Yeah.
of different sequencing. So I was
But
like,
how many
wow.
times did you have to hurl that thing up? Like
Probably
how many times
4.
did they make? Nice. But luckily
Yeah.
it wasn't gross.
It wasn't gross.
Nice.
It wasn't gross.
And there you go.
That's a
There you
good
go.
question. I never thought about it before.
Yeah.
That's nice. They don't make it disgusting.
Yeah. Yeah. Eventually I could see myself being more of a method guy and being like, you get me that raw spinach mixed with but no, it was good.
Nice.
And then, are you working on the reboot now of? Oh, how do I
Yeah.
say it?
Once, which means 11 in Spanish, which is for the 11 soccer players that play on a soccer team.
Oh, I thought your number was 11.
No. Once means 11, and
Right.
11 for the teammates. There's 11 players on a team.
Oh, I thought your number jersey was 11, and that's why it was once.
No, I picked the Dr. Cohen one. I was like number 10.
Nice. Oh, because of Messi.
Oh, because of you.
Nice.
I told them, I'm like, it's...
Exactly. Were you, did they give you number 10 because of
yeah,
Messi? Was
number
that
10.
the thinking? Yeah.
Yeah. There is this like kind of... But it has to do with the position, the attacking midfielder position, which often is the leader of the team, tends to be number 10. That very often that's the case. So that's why the number 10 jersey.
You had alluded to the fact that there was like lore that maybe you were his bastard child or something, right? Was that like an undertone of the show or not really?
A big storyline in the show had to do with my parents and the fact that my mom had died when I was very little. So I had never really met my mom. My character had never really met my mom. And my dad was nowhere to be seen. But at one point, and this is like a cool part of the story, my grandma gifted me a pin when I turned like 17. She's like, hey, like this is the only thing I have from your dad. I also never really met him. She wanted to protect me from my dad because he kind of, escaped and didn't really want to take responsibility. But she's like, but I always ask questions. So she's like, I'll let you have his pin. And it was this little pin that seemed to be a championship of some sort, but I couldn't really tell. And one day, I'm like, I kind of get in a fight with my rival, so they make us clean up the trophies in in punishment, and I'm cleaning up the trophies, and I see that there's a photo from the first team in the school, and everybody has this pin. So it was kind of Harry Pottery. At that point, I realized that I don't know where my father is. I have no idea who he is, but I actually know that he played in my school a few generations prior. So it kind of starts this like family mystery in addition to the main theme of the show, which is just getting the team together so we could win.
Do you ever meet your father?
I end up finding out by late second season who my father is. Yeah.
Darth Vader?
Exactly. He actually was the bad guy the whole time. He was the director of the school, which is and who's like really trying to sell the school off, and he's being just a bad guy all around, and neither of us really knew who the other one was until that point.
But just because he was a bad guy doesn't mean he was necessarily a bad guy.
Yeah.
Right? What movie is that?
That's gotta be it's gotta be a comedy. But animated. I know the line. It's gotta be a animated.
Lauren? No? Animated movie. Just because I'm a bad guy doesn't mean I'm a bad guy.
Is it a Pixar movie?
I don't know who made it, but it's animated. But Wreck-It Ralph.
I watched that movie, but I didn't get that.
Yeah.
I just knew the line, but more often I know the line, I just don't know where it comes from.
Probably because I say it all the time or something.
Yeah.
But so the reboot of the show, is it going to be like you are still playing soccer, or what? Can you tell us anything about it?
Yeah, reboot is gonna be really nice. First, they like kind of are making it more serious. You know, that we were a little more sitcom-y and like, you know, telenovela, classic Spanish telenovela, and I think now it's more classical to what the Netflix and the Amazons are doing. We shot a lot fewer episodes in a lot more time, so the quality's a lot higher, and the premise is that my character now is a professional soccer player in Europe, playing in a very big team, and in the break after a championship, as they usually do, they have a vacation, so I kind of end up meeting up my two buddies from school who we've always been really good friends throughout the show, and they're professionals as well, and we're all like, hey, let's go to Hawaii and Cancun and party. And I actually end up telling them that I haven't seen my grandmother in Buenos Aires, Argentina in a while, so I kind of would like to do that. Sounds a little boring, but I kind of want to see her. And they're like, fine, let's go there and we'll do the Cancun after. But if we all go, we'll come with you and let's stop by the school. We haven't been back by the school in a long ass time. So we end up dropping by the school, and we notice that it's falling apart. They're using the same jerseys that we used to wear. The locker room is now part of the library. There is no locker room. The coaches, as we knew them, are gone. There's this other guy who's like has messed up the whole team. We're looking at the live score. They're getting trashed 4-0. And we find out that they're 4 or 5 games away from being relegated, losing the division into a different division for the first time in our school's history. So it's kind of like a small Avengers story meets kind of Top Gun, where we bring everybody back to kind of save the day and not have them lose the division for the first time ever. So it's kind of an underdog story instead of fighting for the championship story.
Top Gun Maverick meets soccer.
Exactly.
And you're Maverick.
And I'm playing the Argentinian 5'5" version of Maverick.
Well, Tom
he
Cruise.
Is also.
I think you're probably taller than he is.
Same height, yeah.
Exactly. I'm still waiting for you to get cast as his son.
That I'm waiting to be get be cast as his son.
Yeah.
He's actually doing a movie with Alejandro González-Iñárritu, who I don't know if you guys know, but he's directed Birdman. He's directed
Did
The
he do
Revenant.
Pan's? He didn't do Pan's Labyrinth. No, that was
That
someone
was
else.
Guillermo del Toro.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's a big Hollywood director from Mexico who's done always very edgy, cool, interesting, deep films. So I'm really excited to see how they're teaming up, because Tom Cruise is more your action commercial, lead guy, and Alejandro is really deep in his work. So I think it's gonna be a cool. That would have been my dream.
Name. Well, Tom, I know he's been trying to get a hold of you to work with you, Tom Cruise. But
Yeah,
in the meanwhile, name some of your favorite Tom Cruise roles.
I think Top Gun 100%.
Yeah.
I actually The Last Samurai comes up a lot. I think it's
Great.
cool. What else?
Yeah, Last Samurai is great. And you know what else is great that I was thinking of that you made me think of when you were talking about like artsy?
Dustin Hoffman.
Oh, Rain Man, you mean?
Man.
Yeah, no, that's good. But actually, a friend of mine is the one who wrote that. Is Ron Bass wrote that movie, Rain Man. But I was thinking of what's the movie that's shot here? It's the name of the movie is a street in Los Angeles. Why am I blanking on it?
There's Magnolia. It's a
Magnolia, exactly.
Oh, with Brad Pitt.
No, not Brad Pitt.
Oh no, that's the vampire.
No, Magnolia. Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Magnolia.
His performance in that was just, I thought was fantastic. And then Born on the 4th of July also was another
4th of July.
Another good one.
Yeah. No, he's got classics. He has classics.
Yeah, he's all over.
Is that, like, do you have a favorite actor or inspiration? Like, obviously, Dr. Cohen's is Tom Cruise today.
Today it's Tom Cruise, but it's not usually Tom Cruise. Just today it is.
I love Tom Cruise in that way, and I actually, I think he's never won pretty much anything, and I think that he's an amazing storyteller, and I understand why people might say that his performances aren't critically acclaimed enough to be deemed an Oscar, but I think he's getting an honorary Oscar this year, and I think rightfully so. I think one day I made a little post about it because people were shitting on him, and I was like, if you measure good acting by the level of by how much people enjoy seeing a performance in a story, then Tom Cruise is a genius. Because anytime anyone comes out of a theater, you're just so excited and you're leaning forward on your seat. So I love Tom Cruise, but then I also love guys like Denzel. Obviously, I think I love Javier Bardem. For me right now is he's out of this world what he's doing. Respect for Brad, a bunch of guys, Tom Hanks too, all the guys from that generation, I think really, and some of the younger guys, Timothy Chalamet, I think for our generation is pushing the boundaries, and you could tell his commitment is fully deep in the craft. So there's great actors out there to look and learn from.
So when does
We only got 2 more minutes with this time.
Yeah. What's the new show called? Once 2?
Once 4.
Once 4. Oh, right. Okay. And when is it supposed to be released?
April 2026.
Ooh, not for a while.
Not for a while.
Is that pretty typical?
That's it's actually a little longer than usual.
Right.
They're timing it with the World Cup, I think, because the Soccer World Cup is going to be in June.
But you're all done shooting, even reshoots, everything's totally done?
Yeah, all done. And I will be probably doing some sort of cool screening in LA, which you'll come to.
Very cool. Very cool. Nice.
So,
nice. Are you going to have to do a whole press tour junket around?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to have to do that.
Nice. How long were you down in Argentina again? A year? How long
7
was it?
months.
7 months. And now you're back in LA.
Now back in LA, baby.
Nice.
Are there any other like projects or anything else you want to tell us about, or any like final?
I can't share much, but I will say that I've been exploring writing a ton in the past few years, and I'm finally getting to a place where I'm really executing or starting to execute my writing in the way that I see it in my head and I feel it, and I can kind of get that emotion or feeling across on the page. So I'm just partnered with a director in Argentina who's very accomplished, and he wrote a novel, and he kind of gave me the rights for both of us to adapt the novel into a book
Script?
and into a script, the book into a script. So that's what I'm working on now.
That's fabulous. I love screenwriting, so I know exactly what you're talking about. That's
Lauren's a screenwriter too.
Oh, I didn't know that.
yeah.
Yes.
Nothing that's been made yet. You never know.
That's what kind of birthed Lauren joining Gross Anatomy, is in addition to the fact that she was doing social media for SGLA, the Surgery Group of LA. We bonded over the fact that she's such a big movie TV fan and writer. So and that's what Lauren and I birthed this baby here.
Wow. Well, too bad we have to go, because I would love to talk screenwriting with you, Lauren.
It's my favorite topic. But thank you so much for being on the show. We really appreciate it. And I feel like the reboot is going to be amazing. I feel like the story that you explained is going to be
Yeah, it should be emotional. I think we all kind of tried really hard. So I hope it's on my. Can a guest come twice at some point? Is that legally allowed?
I would love it.
You're going to be like, Steve Martin on Saturday Night Live. He was like he was always on. So you're going to be like, quarterly a guest.
Yeah, whenever you guys run out of people, just be like, "Hey, Mariano, it's 6:30. We're on a."
What are you doing next week?
Part 1 and part 2, right?
There you go. There you go. Mariano,
Thank you,
I love
guys.
you.
What an honor. Love
Thank
you,
you
Doc.
for joining us.